The river was wild that morning, swollen from a storm the night before. Jack Turner, a 28-year-old wildlife photographer, was hiking through the remote Arizona canyons when he heard a scream. At first, he thought it was an animal, but then he saw her, a young woman swept into the raging water, arms flailing. Without thinking, Jack threw off his backpack, dove in, and swam against the violent current. She went under once, twice. The third time he reached her, pulling her to shore. Gasping for breath, she clung to him, shivering. She whispered, "You saved me. You don't know what that means." Jack wrapped his jacket around her and asked if she was okay. She nodded, but her eyes were wide, not with fear, but awe. Her name was Alona, 24, with long raven black hair and deep brown eyes that glowed like firelight. She said she was Apache. "You shouldn't have done that," she murmured, voice trembling. "Why?" he asked. "Because now you belong to me." Jack laughed, thinking it was a joke, but Alona didn't smile. She said something in her native language. He didn't understand, but the seriousness in her voice made him uneasy. They walked together back to her village, a few miles off the dirt path. It wasn't on any map, hidden between cliffs and forest. Elders waited outside, proud, stoic, their eyes narrowing as they saw Alona and Jack approach. An old man with white braids stepped forward and spoke in Apache. Alona translated, "You touched her in the sacred water. You saved her life. Now, by the old ways, her spirit is bonded to yours." Jack blinked. "What does that mean?" The old man raised a hand. "It means you are family now. It means you stay." Jack tried to explain he was just a traveler, that he didn't expect anything in return. But Alona's expression changed. "This is not a debt, Jack. It's a blessing. Not everyone is chosen." That night, he stayed in a guest tent near the fire circle. The villagers sang, danced, and told stories in his honor. Children brought him food. A boy carved his name into a piece of cedar and gave it to him. "You're the water brother now," the boy said. Jack smiled politely, but inside, confusion churned. What had he walked into, and why did part of him feel seen? At sunrise, Alona led him to a hill overlooking the valley. "Our tribe believes the river chooses," she said. "You were meant to be here, meant to find me." Jack hesitated. "Alona, I didn't save you for any reward." She nodded. "I know. That's why the river chose you." He couldn't deny her presence stirred something deep inside him, a calm he hadn't felt in years. The mountains, the people, even the silence felt sacred. Still, he had a life outside, photography gigs, an apartment in Phoenix, a mother who called him every Sunday. Could he just stay? Later that day, a tribal ceremony was held. Jack was dressed in traditional attire, marked with white clay, and sat beside Alona. The elder chanted in Apache, and villagers surrounded them with feathers and sage. "What is this?" Jack whispered. "A bond ceremony," Alona replied. "We don't marry like the outside world. The spirits decide." Jack's heart pounded. "But I didn't agree. You didn't have to," she said softly. The moment you pulled me from the water, the bond began." Jack felt trapped, but also strangely honored. The tribe believed in something ancient, something real, and somehow, it included him. That night, Jack sat alone under the stars. The desert sky was clearer than he'd ever seen. He thought of leaving, just walking away. But part of him felt anchored now, tied to something bigger. Alona approached quietly, sitting beside him. "You don't have to love me," she said, "but the law of the river says we're connected now. Our paths are one. You can fight it, or flow with it." Her voice was gentle, not forceful. Jack looked at her. "Not just beautiful, strong, kind, real. I don't know what I believe," he whispered. "Then believe in me." The next morning, Jack decided to stay at least for a few more days. The tribe welcomed him fully now. Children called him Riverman, and elders nodded with respect when he passed. Alona showed him their traditions, how they weaved corn, made herbal medicine, danced under the moon. Jack took photos at first, but gradually stopped. "You don't capture spirit with a lens," Alona told him, and she was right. Here, everything was alive. The land, the fire, the silence. And within that silence, Jack began to feel something he hadn't in years. Peace, a strange kind of home. Word spread to the outside. A white man had been bonded by sacred Apache law. Some called it fake, others called it beautiful. A documentary crew showed up, asking for interviews. Jack declined. "This isn't a story for the world," he said. "It's sacred." But the tribe allowed one old reporter, a Navajo elder, to visit. He spoke with the council, then with Jack. "You were chosen because you did something rare," he said. "You didn't just save a woman. You honored the spirit of the land." Jack finally asked, "But what if I leave?" The elder smiled sadly. "The river never forgets." Days turned into weeks. Jack helped build shelters, learned the Apache names for animals, and sang by firelight. He and Alona grew closer, not through romance, but through rhythm, shared work, shared silence, shared dreams. One night, she showed him a hidden cave filled with symbols, carved hundreds of years ago. They tell our future, she said. Jack traced a symbol that looked like two trees intertwined by roots. This one, he asked. Alona nodded. The river spoke it before you arrived. Jack didn't need translation. For the first time, he didn't want to run. He wanted to plant roots, but outside life caught up. Jack's phone, long dead, was finally recharged by solar panel. Dozens of missed calls. His mother had surgery. His job had replaced him. Reality waited beyond the mountains. Alona saw the change in his eyes. Go, she said. You don't belong in a cage. But remember, even if you go, the river tied our stories together. Jack promised he'd return. She didn't ask when, just placed a feather in his hand. This is from the eagle that flew over us when you saved me. It means your spirit touched the sky. Jack swallowed hard and left. Back. In Phoenix, everything felt loud. People rushed. Noise everywhere. Jack couldn't sleep. His mother recovered. His landlord raised the rent. He got photo jobs again, but every picture felt empty. He printed one photo, the river, glowing at sunset, and taped it above his bed. A year passed. Every day, he thought of her Alona, the firelight in her eyes, the sacred quiet, the root-shaped symbol in the cave. In the moment he pulled her from the river, the exact moment, everything changed. Then, one morning, without a word, Jack packed a bag, deleted his calendar, and drove east. He didn't call, didn't text, just arrived. The village was there unchanged. A young boy saw him and ran to the center shouting, "Riverman's back." People gathered, smiling. Alona walked out of the tent, her eyes widening, but she didn't speak. She didn't need to. Jack stepped forward, lifted the eagle feather from his pocket, and held it out. "I believe in you now," he whispered. Her eyes filled with tears. The elder stepped forward, nodded, and said simply, "Then you may stay forever." Jack smiled. He finally understood. Some bonds are not made with rings, but rivers. That night, the fire burned brighter. Jack danced not as a visitor, but as one of them. Children sang his name. Elders welcomed him as kin. He wasn't an outsider anymore. He was the one the river had chosen. Alona took his hand not with ownership, but with faith. They didn't need a ceremony. The river had done that already. They just stood together, under the stars, letting the wind and smoke tell their story. In a world of noise, Jack had found his quiet place where destiny wasn't written in contracts, but in the way water bends around stone.